New research from the University of Toledo is looking at what can be a dangerous household pet, at least dangerous for our waterways. Joining us this afternoon is Dr. William Hintz to explain the impact and what people should know before releasing pet fish into the wild. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We all know that we sunk that ball into that goldfish bowl at the carnival, and now however many years later, the thing is still somehow surviving.
Yeah.
They can live a long time, huh?
They can live several years, and they can grow pretty big. You know, they can go from anywhere from 10 pounds and some records north of 30 pounds. So,
no kidding.
Yeah.
So you did some research to look at the impact specifically of goldfish, right?
Yes. Yep.
Tell me about the study that you did, how you did it.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I was talking to a fellow scientist who was doing some surveys on lakes, and he was snorkeling doing these surveys. And he said, you know, we would notice goldfish kind of tagging along with some golden shiners in these lakes.
Okay.
And then we saw a lot of like social media posts of state and federal agencies who sample fish in the wild. They were posting these pictures of goldfish. And so we asked the question, like, what are the impacts of goldfish?
Sure.
The scientific evidence on the impacts of goldfish was almost non-existent at the time. There were very few studies. So that was the impetus.
So you took that on.
Yeah.
Now, do goldfish typically live in the wild? Or is this people just kind of dumping them?
Yeah, so it's a native species to the continent of Asia, right?
Okay.
And so it's brought over to, you know, the United States in the 1800s and has been in Europe since the 1600s to kind of manage pond ecosystems and things like that. So it's been around for quite a long time.
And so when you did this study, what did you find?
So we found that the goldfish cause what we call a regime shift. So we get reduced water clarity, we get more algae, fewer critters in the water that really sustain the fish populations. And so it was a bit of a surprising result. And we found that a lot of our results matched, you know, kind of what we were seeing from accounts in the wild.
So what is it, I guess, the main takeaway here? What can we all do here?
Yeah, it's very good not to release your pets into the wild. So there are ways of taking care of unwanted pets. You know, we can call local pet stores, we can call local wildlife professionals. And so, you know, it's critically important that people realize that pets can become pests if they're released into the wild. So to prevent some of the changes we observed, it'd be good to, you know, take care of your pet rather than, you know, release it into a river.
We're just going to set him free into the Maumee River.
Yeah.
Like, let's not do that. Maybe somebody else might want to take him for their aquarium or something like that even too.
Yep.
How did you actually do this study? Did you get in some snorkeling gear too?
Yeah, so we use what are called mesocosms, and these are large experimental tanks, 300 gallons each.
Okay.
And so we take organisms from local lakes and we put them in these tanks, and then we populate it with goldfish and we monitor it through time. So it's like you think about a petri dish as like a little scientific experimental unit. We use 300-gallon tanks instead of small petri dishes.
Sure. Okay. So and how long did it take you to do the research?
So the study itself went about, you know, 2 months.
Okay.
And so it's about a year from, you know, all the data processing and things like that, and, you know, another year for data analysis and writing. And so it can take quite a while.
Wow. But you've got it published here now in a peer-reviewed study. So it's kind of a big deal, but also a big takeaway here for our viewers and for people in our community. Just we have these goldfish in our aquariums. We maybe get tired of them after a little while.
It's possible.
And might think it's harmless to just free them in the river or the ponds, but not a good idea.
No, I think it would be good. Call your local pet store.
Yeah.
Call a local wildlife professional. There are, you know, humane ways of taking care of unwanted pets, but releasing them into the wild, you know, could trigger a problem for our local ecosystems.
Yeah, who would have thought, right?
Yeah, they look so small and innocent. Right?
They do. Well, interesting stuff. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it, yeah.
All right, thank you.